Hi everyone, this is Brit's Best and today we're going to be making croissants. In my bowl I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and to my flour I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'm also going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. So now for my wet ingredients I have 1 cup of whole milk, and to that I'm going to add a half a cup of heavy cream. And then for my yeast in my water, I have a 1/4 cup of lukewarm water with 2 packages of dry active yeast. Just going to dump that in as well. And now the fun part, I'm going to get messy, make a dough. So this is going to be a pretty batter-like dough. We're still going to add at least another cup and possibly 2 more cups of flour. What I had in my bowl before was all-purpose unbleached flour. For the rest of the flour that I'm going to use is going to be bread flour. So I'm going to dump in, just add it as you go. It doesn't have to be an exact measurement. You just want the batter, the really loose dough, to get into more of a solid dough. Okay, I feel like it's together enough. I can dump out onto my counter. And I'm going to start kneading this. I'm going to have to add more flour, I can already tell. But we're just going to start kneading it. You don't want to add too much flour because then your dough will be really stiff and it won't make for a nice moist croissant. So it's sticking to my hands. I'm just going to add a little bit more flour. Just continue kneading it. So I knead in a circle. Just pull it back toward you, push it down, and then spin it around. That's just the way I do it. A lot of people knead a lot of different ways. Add some more flour. It's sticking still. So you're just going to knead the dough for probably about 8 to 10 minutes, or until it comes together and is elastic, and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so you can see my dough is together. It's beautiful. It's elastic. See how it springs back when I push it together? That's what you want. Add the dough to a bowl. Cover it with plastic wrap and we're going to refrigerate it for 1 hour. I pulled my dough out of the fridge. It was in there for about an hour. What I'm going to do now is roll my butter disc into my dough. So my butter disc is 3 sticks of butter. I had them at room temperature earlier and I mixed them in a bowl just so I could get them all combined, and then I rolled them out into the plastic wrap to get them into disc form. So, and then I just wrapped them back up again, put it back in the fridge so it would be hard. This has been sitting out for about 5 minutes. It's a little soft. That's what you want. You want to make sure it's not too cold the first time that you roll it out. Just going to flatten it out into a disc. And we're going to roll it out. I have my bread flour down. I'm just going to flour my rolling pin as well. So now I'm going to roll my dough into my butter. So what I like to do is just fold it up, the layers, and then fold some layers on the bottom as well. Otherwise it will be really thin on one side. Just so it's all kind of even. Now the hard part, rolling the cold butter into the dough. So you want to get it into a rectangle, as close to a rectangle as you can. So just start on one side. You can see, you can start to see the outline of my butter. Just flip it over. Start rolling the other side. Really try and focus in the middle where the butter is to try and force the butter up through the layers of your dough. And don't worry if it's not perfect. We're going to repeat this process 4 to 5 times, and that's what gives the croissants that flaky, light, and buttery flavor. You can see it's about a foot by about 10 inches. I'm going to roll this, fold this into a letter shape, into thirds and continue rolling it. All right, I can tell my butter is oozing on the other side. This is what you don't want. See how my butter's coming out of the dough? That means my butter's too warm. So what I'm going to do is fold it up again in the opposite direction. We're going to fold it into thirds again. Get some plastic wrap. We're going to wrap this dough up. It needs to sit in the fridge for about a half an hour until the butter cools again. This is the process we'll be doing, rolling out our dough and rolling the butter through the layers, and that's what makes the croissants flaky and buttery. Round 2. We're going to roll it out. All right, we're going to fold it up. This time we're going to fold it into a different shape. We're going to fold it kind of like a book. So we're going to fold it like this and then in half. You can see it's hard to roll out with the butter inside it. It's good arm workout, rolling out your croissant dough, knowing you're going to eat all those extra calories. It's justification. All right, and then one more time into that kind of book shape. I'm going to try and roll it out one more time. Hope that my butter isn't too warm. Oh, I can see my butter. It's popping out. All right. So even though it's not quite as big as I would like it, I'm going to fold it up into thirds one more time, wrap it back up in my plastic wrap, and stick it back in the fridge for another half an hour. Round 3. Just going to roll it out again, just like we did before. So you can see my butter is poking through already. It's gone through the layers of the dough, which is exactly what you want. That's why this is going to be our last time rolling it out. Just try and make it a little bit wider this way. And we're going to fold it one more time like the book. You can see my butter's poking out. So just like this, and then in half. There's our final time rolling out our dough. It needs to sit in the fridge overnight. It's going to rise in the fridge, wrapped in the plastic wrap. And then tomorrow we will roll it out again and cut it into our triangles and roll up the croissants. It's morning. My croissants have been sitting in the fridge all night, and so they'll come out like they're pretty big, as you can see, a lot bigger than last night. They've even like popped up my plastic wrap. So we're just going to unwrap these. All right, so I have some flour out on my counter. I'm just going to lay this down, and we're going to roll it out into a pretty thin rectangle so that we can cut out our triangles to make the croissants. You want to try and roll it out as square as you can, as straight a lines as you can, because the edges need to be pretty straight to make the triangle shapes that we're going to roll up into crescents. So the word croissant actually comes from the word crescent, and what I've heard is the pastry originated in Austria. When the Turks invaded Vienna, the bakers in Vienna wanted to make them feel as welcome as possible so they didn't hurt them or anything. So they wanted to make a dessert or something good for them in the shape of a crescent. That's dessert. Since they're Muslims, the crescent is their symbol, so I've heard that that's how the croissants came about. The shape, anyway. So I've rolled out my dough. You can see it's pretty large. What I'm gonna do now, I just use a ravioli cutter. You can use a pizza cutter too. Just cut off the edges so that it's a square. So I just kind of eyeball it. So I did my math, what I decided was I'm going to do 4 this way and then 2 this way. So I just take my measuring tape, and it's going to be every 8 inches. So I already made a mark. So mark there. I'm going to cut it there, and at 24. And then this way, I'm just going to do 2. So I'm going to cut it at 8 inches, right there. Alright, so we have our squares. What we're going to do now to make triangle shapes is just cut these diagonally across, just like that. I'm going to roll my croissant. So what you do is you take the fat end and you're just going to roll it up. You want the point at the end, and then just spin it around. And then I kind of like to connect the little ends together. And let this rise. It needs to rise for about an hour at room temperature till it's doubled in bulk, and then we can bake them off. These croissants, I'm going to make about 3/4 of my croissants just plain, but for the other ones I'm going to do some things in the middle. So I'm going to do chocolate. This is just chocolate that I cut up into little pieces, and then you just do the same thing. You just roll these up. The thing about if you're going to put anything inside of it, you need to make sure on the edges over here they're sealed, otherwise your chocolate or whatever will fall out. Next thing I'm going to do for my croissants is make an egg wash. This is going to help make them nice and golden brown on the top. So you just need 1 egg, and then you can make it with water, milk, but since it's croissants, I'm going to make my egg wash with cream. So they're not bad enough for you. Just a drop. Give this a mix, and then just take your brush and brush on the egg wash. Alright, these are going to bake at 425 for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're golden brown. Our croissants should be done. They've been baking for about 20 minutes. Oh, you can see they're nice and golden. They're hot. See, there's chocolate in the middle. It's nice and flaky. And you could tell when I cut it open, it's crispy. And I know that's different than a lot of store-bought croissants. They're going to be crispy today, the first day, and they're crunchy on the outside, nice and soft on the inside. But then tomorrow, they'll be soft and more like a store-bought croissant. So just depending on what kind of texture that you like. I really prefer them crunchy. When I first made them, I was like, wow, they're crunchy and they're so good on the outside. Oh, chocolate's so good in it. I know it seems like a long process, but they're totally worth it, and I hope that you try this at home and see that it's easy to do. Thanks so much for watching Brit's Best, and I hope to see you next time.